I have found it so hard to feed my cat fresh food, and I am so thrilled that SoCool sent me their refrigerated cat feeder, as this is truly innovative. It is the first cat feeder that actually reaches real refrigerated temperatures of 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's unbox it, set it up, and put it to the test. Now here's how it comes out of the box, and I'm already so excited. I'm going to start with the Llama Tech itself, the SoCool feeder. I haven't taken out any of the plastic yet. And on the bottom, it does have this protective plastic right here. And then it has these screens on each side, and how it works is the air is blowing out of this fan at the bottom, but it needs air to suck in on each side. And so these screens are going to catch any cat debris or dirt or dust that might go into the engine, meaning it's all going to last a lot longer. So you will want to clean these from time to time. I love that it has these. It's very smart in the design. And then it has a simple reset button right here, and you do not have to lift it to reach that button. It is very easy to reach when it's just sitting upright. Now, as for the rest of it, you can see those vents, the inlets on each side, but past that, it's very, very clean. And then on the back, it has a lock to hold down the top. And when you take that off, it's a very solid top. Obviously, it needs to be insulated for the refrigeration to work. Then you're inside, and now you see that it has 6 bowls. You can do 6 feedings. Seeing that this will keep food at the refrigerated 40 degrees and is fully sealed, you really can put whatever you want in here for a few days. But be sure to take this apart, as underneath it is a little more foam. And then in concept, this is really quite simple. It is just a super powerful mini refrigerator, and everywhere where you see metal, that's going to be emanating the cold and keeping all the bowls on top of it refrigerated. And then right here, this is where the bowl that's being fed will be, and it's intentionally not being refrigerated so it can warm up to temp. My cat in particular doesn't like the food when it's super cold, so I really like that they were thoughtful about that. And then the feeding bowls really are quite simple. You get 6 feedings on this bowl, and this you can just wash easily and feed the cats directly on it. And when it finishes all 6 feedings, this will not feed anymore, just in case you haven't gotten around to emptying it. It will not feed your cat the old bad food. It wants you to always press that reset button that's really easy to reach underneath to just tell the machine, yes, I have replaced the food, you can rerun. Now this is where I think it gets even cooler, is not only is it keeping everything at 40 degrees Fahrenheit refrigerated temp, but if you don't want your cat eating out of plastic, you can use these stainless steel bowls. So they just pop right in, and what's great about these is this is 304 stainless steel. You can put it in the dishwasher. You can feel really good about your cat eating out of it. And you can use these for meal prep. Maybe you don't want to put everything in the feeder every time. And so you get 6 covers for these stainless steel bowls, and these kind of hook on a cool way. So that's probably the only complicated thing, is just because the bowls are designed specifically for the feeder, they kind of have custom tops. And the silicone top just kind of pops over the back and then folds in. But once it's on, it is fully sealed, so you can just stack these in your fridge and pop them in the feeder when you want to. And that's the gist of the feeder. When feeding time happens, the food will come into the accessible front point. And you may notice that there are 6 servings, and 1 serving is going to start accessible. So If you are not feeding your cat in that moment, you may only have 5 servings to set, so just keep that in mind. My cat is always super excited when I'm preparing wet food, so I am sure that I'll always be doing this when I'm giving him one of his meals. Since my cat has kidney disease and I really want him to eat lots of small meals throughout the day, this gives me that freedom, a freedom I didn't have before, to really spoil him with the food he needs when he needs it. Now, once you put the top on, you definitely want to lock it on the back. And on the back, you can see right here, this is where you plug it in. Because this is a powerful refrigerator, it definitely has a powerful adapter. And this part of the cord is about 3 feet, a little less than. And then the rest of the cord from the adapter to the wall is another 3 feet roughly. And then it has a nice flat plug. I really appreciate that. Now the device is pulsing a light at the bottom right here, and that means it's in pairing mode. It's saying, hey, I'm not connected to anything. I want to connect, and I can already hear it just slightly. This is almost whisper quiet for a refrigerator. I'm really excited to really put this to the test with my cat, but let's set up the app first. It uses the Smart Life app. I'm very familiar with this app. It's a very common app for a lot of smart devices, so let me set that up. Now I just opened my Smart Life app and it immediately showed up. If you do not have the Smart Life app, you will need to download it and set up an account. But once you have it, it's great for so many devices. And now that it's showing up, I'm just gonna hit add. And it instantly asks me for my Wi-Fi information. And that is so I can access this device and get notifications even when I'm not at home, which is so important to me. And now it's going to add. And now I'm in. I was specifically recommended to do the firmware update, and since this is such a new device, they are constantly upgrading it and giving more improvements to the UI and what you can do with the device, so definitely do the firmware update. So I'll update now. And on the device update page, it has an auto upgrade option, so I am going to press that so this will always update, which is key to me, and then I'm going to hit update. And I'm going to let this run. I'll be back when it finishes. That took a minute. That was no time at all. And now I'm in. So now it is fully connected and it's glowing blue and I'm in the app. It says at the top that it's in standby mode. And now I can change anything I want. I can tell it whether or not I'm using the stainless inserts by doing this little switch right here. And for my old guy, I will definitely be using the stainless inserts, as I think that is an incredible improvement. And he also often gets acne on his chin when he eats out of plastic. So the fact that I don't have to have him eat out of plastic, I love it. And then I can choose the meal plan, and I haven't done anything yet. So now I'm adding my meal plan, and I can choose when I want him to be fed. And I'm gonna have it run 3 times a day. I am so excited that I can do that, as he's often hungry in the middle of the day and I am not always around to give him food. So the fact that now I can separate his meals into 3 smaller meals that are better for him instead of trying to get him to eat too much in a single meal is wonderful. So I am going to leave that schedule as is. And now I can see the feeding records when it starts running. And then the rest of the settings are just up in the upper settings. Pretty simple. I can choose whether or not it's going to make a sound when it runs. I can control the brightness of the LED all the way down to off, to something more mild, to higher. And then it has a "this feature is coming soon," which I'm pretty confident is going to be the remote reset option. So if you're not at home and for some reason this has decided to stop spinning, even though you know that there's fresh food in it, let's just say you forgot to hit the reset button when you reloaded it, you will be able to do that from the app, but that's only my guess. As I said, they are constantly adding more and improving upon this already impressive device, so it could be any other feature really. I am just guessing. And then the only other two options are a factory reset and help and resources. And when you click help and resources, it is taking you to Llama Tech's website, so it will give you the most current information if anything's changed. So incredibly clean overall, very quick to set up. Since it is running and it's so quiet, I just want to check out how cool it is in here. When you unlatch the top, it also has a twist before it pops off, which is really smart, as it means you can't ever just pull it off straight from the front. And it already is almost ice cold in each of these bowls. That is amazing. I am already so impressed. Let me fill it up, test this with my cat, and let you know how it goes. Now, I put some room temperature canned food in this about an hour ago, so I don't know if it's going to be fully refrigerated yet, since it has to cool down the food from room temp, but this has been running the entire time. It is basically silent. I love that so much. So let's open this up and see how cold that food is. Let's check it out. Wow, it is already at 39.7 degrees Fahrenheit. That's amazing. Let's check the other one. Now this one I imagine would be a little bit higher since it is more food, and it is just slightly higher. It's at 40.1 degrees Fahrenheit. That is exceptionally impressive. That means this food truly is at refrigerated temps, and it's ready to go for my cat. So let's see what he thinks. So the next feeding time is coming up, and it is de-icing. And it says that in the app right now, so please stand by. That means it's just getting the food ready to feed my kitty. And he is hanging out here just out of frame. Really excited to give it a try. And I did change where the food is. It was over here, and then I realized I had put it in the wrong places, and I needed to put it right here and here for it to spin correctly. So we'll see how it does in just a moment here. And that worked perfectly. He obviously went straight to it. I actually really love the height of this feeder, as it's right at his head level, so he doesn't have to lean over to get to the food. He has no issue with it at all. It worked so well. And I could turn off that sound if I want to, but I actually like the little beep, as I want him to know when his wet food is ready. So I am so excited about this. Clearly, I already tested the food temp, and I know it's to temp, and I know the rest of the food under there is as well. He loves it. I love it. This is a very impressive wet cat food feeder. If you have a cat like mine who needs a little more love, or maybe just want to spoil your super healthy cat and spoil yourself with not having to get up and deal with wet food all the time, this is hands down the most impressive wet food feeder I have tested. My only complaint with it is that this food will not be covered until it spins for the next feeding. And that is only a concern if I left too much food in it and he didn't eat it all. So I will adapt accordingly by feeding him more smaller meals throughout the day. But if you want to feed your cat just a few large meals, let's say 3 large meals, you could have empty bowls between each of those meals and have it spin at set times to take away any of the old food and have an empty bowl before the next meal. So you can definitely adapt this to your needs. And it is silent. It has incredible refrigeration. It is very smartly designed from a great company. I am so impressed.